Welcome to the Garlic Boys podcast, where we treat friendship like a good recipe treats garlic. You can never have too much of it. We're your hosts. I'm Connor O'Connor.
And I'm Goob. You can call me the bowler hat guy. You kept me up way too late every night, and now I'm seeking revenge for all the lost dreams that I had.
Yeah. Connor forgot his schedule for the week and is making Matt record after he's been up for 16 hours overnight.
So yesterday, all right. It was kind of like a normal day. I did work the day before. So like I slept in till like maybe about 1, and then my therapist called me and she's like, "Hey, you coming in?" I was like, I forgot. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, because I stayed up. That's what happened. So it was Mia's birthday, right? So I had to stay up and make her breakfast, and I had to make her some brownies because it was a tradition with her family to make brownies. So I made her some brownies. And so I didn't get to bed until like 10 o'clock, maybe. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. So I finally go to bed. And then it was like 3 o'clock when my therapist called me. And I was like, can we reschedule? I'm sorry. So then I was like passing out on the couch last night at like 11 o'clock. So Mia's like, why don't you just go to bed? Like, you don't have to force yourself to stay up all night. So we go to bed. And guess who can't sleep anymore?
Because your body's so used to being awake during the nighttime now.
Yeah, so I'm wide awake, laying in bed, tossing and turning for 3 hours. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm just going to get out of bed. So I get out of bed. I take a nice hot dump. Sorry, I don't know why I said that on air. I get out of bed. I go downstairs, and I start playing Minecraft. And then I see the lights, like the sun, the sunlight come on outside. And I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have stayed up. And then I still haven't gone.
I'd feel less bad about doing this then, because you had every opportunity to sleep. I thought you worked last night.
No, I was off. I just chose not to sleep because why would I?
Well, if you notice about me, to make this about me, because most things are.
You are wearing a Dr. Pepper shirt. That's cool.
The Dr. Pepper shirt, normal. Also, did you hear it?
No.
Dang it!
It's
one of these days it's gonna come through.
It's Google Meets. It just doesn't like sounds. It doesn't like anything other than voice.
But the reason what's different is that I'm not wearing my normal hat.
Whoa! I didn't even notice. Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
I left it in the car, and of course I didn't work today, but the wife did.
Yeah.
And so she took it. And I should have grabbed it yesterday, but I was like, oh, I'm not gonna need it. And then this morning happened.
Why would I need my autistic safety hat?
Hey, let's not call it that until the diagnosis comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this hat, and then I have another one, but I don't like the way it feels on my head because it's too tight. And I was gonna just wear this one.
Yeah.
But then I was looking through boxes today trying to find push pins to hang up these blankets, which are helping with the light a little bit.
Yeah.
And I found more hats, so I wanted to know which one do you think that I should wear today. We're gonna go through a few options.
Okay.
And then we'll move from there.
Yeah.
So, option number 1,
just a solid headband. What does it say?
Is just a headband. It says big red marching band.
Big red marching band. I see.
I haven't worn this since high school, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my head is grown, but it is very tight.
So you'll probably have a headache by the end of session if if you wear that.
The point of this is to keep your ears warm, and it's got them in there.
Oh, it's got like earmuff kind of thing built in. That's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's an option.
We want to rubber band his head like a watermelon.
Oh, whoa, princess.
This one would be an option if your hair was down.
I gotta put my hair down.
I think so. Okay, maybe not.
Nope. Turns out the problem is not the hair. It is, in fact, the massive head.
Well, at least you'll have a bunch of hats to pass down to your children, I guess.
Hello, princess.
Stop it. Stop it.
Are you a Pokemon? Because I choose you. Calm down, Meow. Okay, so this is definitely a no.
Yeah, I think so.
But this one's a fun one because I don't know if you remember this one from college. We've got normal hat
well
that makes it look like I have Michelangelo on my head, right?
Right.
And then if I'm feeling a little zany, I can switch it inside out, and I can be Michelangelo. Did you ever watch Fat Albert?
Yes.
It kind of looks like that one dude that always wore the mask.
This also feels like something that would be in you can bleep this if you have like Jackass or something like that, or like Kick-Ass. That's
yeah, it's definitely his early costume.
Yeah. Jackass.
What's the difference between you and me? I'm not wearing hockey pads. Roombas.
It's given like that Drake Bell superhero movie vibes.
The superhero movie.
Yeah.
Where he was the dragonfly.
Yeah. That's what it's giving. Like that kind of vibe. Like with the glasses too.
I'm here to save the day. So should I try with no glasses?
That is.
Does this look better?
Almost infinitely worse.
Okay, move. I can put these back on. That's not going to hinder this.
The Louise Belcher hat. I thought I saw that in there too.
Now, the fun thing about these is I wore these on a live stream I did once while playing bingo at college.
Right.
And embarrassed my father, and so I love him even more.
You with the ears down, you kind of look like Ralphie in his bunny costume from Christmas Story. With ears up,
it's supposed to be Louise from Bob Burgers.
Yes, I did say that. Well, you did have your headphones down, so I'll give you the benefit there. Yeah.
Do we
solid.
Is this the go?
I think that's the go. I think that's the look right now. I think that's the best one so far.
Hold on, let me get them in frame. Oh. Okay, so we're just gonna go with this one for
we just got a new chair at work, and it reclines all the way back. You are parallel to the floor. Perfect. I mean, not.
Are you sleeping on shift again, Matt?
No, I'm watching movies. No, I'm not doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. I'm looking at cameras and screens and stuff.
That's what he calls watching movies.
I'm specifically watching secret agent movies so that the cameras are on the screen. So I can polygraph.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Every time we watch security cameras, Matt's always like, hey, we're watching movies here. I've actually started using Autumn's chair that she had at her desk instead of my desk chair. Mm-hmm. Because when I fall asleep in her chair, it doesn't go back all the way.
Right.
It make me think that I'm going to die.
It's like that
my chair does.
It's like that one guy, you've seen his videos, right? Where he like leans back. He's like all freaking out because he's gonna die. I love those videos.
And if you'd like a jump scare, down here in the corner are the Lord of the Rings fugglers that I have.
What a
one
good
of which was a wedding present.
Yeah. What a good wedding gift. I think it was Gandalf, wasn't it?
Yes, and then you decided it'd be funny if my wife bought Gollum, which is arguably the worst thing to make uglier.
It's already there, you know what I mean? Like it's perfect.
But yeah, those are the updates to The Office
Nice.
and my hat life, I guess.
You reminded me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in two different ways today. And I wanted to bring up the bit that I haven't done in 6 months. I've got a G-spot. I should make a little jingle. I'm going to make a little jingle just for the G-spot. This is, of course, listeners, the Garlic Spotlight. And I just recently discovered that there's a new Last Ronin comic out, and it's a continuation. It's like a sequel, I guess, following the new Ninja Turtles, which all of their names are different languages for the word one. I don't know how they figured this out, right? So the leader of the group is called Uno. But they said when I was looking it up, everything was like Uno is French for one. And I was like, but it's also Spanish for one, and almost more notoriously Spanish for one. So why and how did we figure out that it was French, right? Because like the one is Chinese, the other one is something else, and then the other one is something else that I think one is like Swahili, right? So how did we determine that the Uno in question is French and not Spanish? That's the real question here. That's the important topic we should be discussing.
Uno isn't French. Do you mean Italian?
No, they said French. Here, give me a second. Uno TMNT Last Ronin. Yeah. So I go on to the official TMNTpedia. Oh no, it is Italian. Yeah, Uno's Italian for one. Oh, you know what?
French is just un.
Yeah. So yeah, it is Italian. But there must have been some sort of callback to the Last Ronin Lost Years, right? Which is why they are sure that it is Italian Uno and not Spanish Uno. So forgive me for not being thorough enough.
I will forgive you for not being thorough enough if you forgive me for stop listening after the first time you called Uno French.
That's fine.
All I just kept thinking was, I don't think that's right. I know de is two, but what's one? I thought it was just because there's de, quoi.
It's you gotta get really throaty.
De, quoi.
So
six.
Stop talking. Uno is the leader.
Six in French.
Uno is the leader of the new TMNT, along with Sister Moja, which is, I believe, the Swahili for one. Odin, which is a brother turtle, and Yi, YI, which is another sister. Which Moja is. Let me confirm. It is Swahili. Odin is
Norse.
No, Russian and Ukrainian for one, and Yi is Chinese for one. So, congratulations. You have now learned about my G-spot for this week.
I don't think that Ninja Turtles get enough credit.
I don't think so either. I think it's a fantastic. I think people see it as too childish. I think it's the real problem because a lot of it.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's absolutely not childish though.
Right.
But
It's mostly cartoons, I think is the problem people have. Is like if I told people to watch Bob Burgers, the first thing they'll say, isn't it a cartoon? That's for kids. First thing.
the thing though is like, yeah, it was turned into a thing for kids because of toy marketing back in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the whole idea of He-Man came about because toy executives wanted to sell things for boys to play with their Barbies.
Every new character wasn't a fun thing just to add to the show to, you know,
Right.
diversity and all that. It was toys. It was for toys.
And like they did that with Ninja Turtles as well, because like if you look at the original cartoons or the original comics, all black and white. It's way grittier. They're like they swear, they're bloodied. Like they're wrecking shop in these cartoons. And but in the comics, not the cartoons. The cartoons you get like bright, colorful, like we're silly. Here's different color ones, so when you're playing with your action figures, you know which one we are.
Cowabunga, dude.
Right.
Yeah. And
then he says to him, "This is where my parents died, Raphael."
That's
bummer, dude.
Bummer. That's why I love The Last Ronin so much. So it's taking, I mean, obviously it's another comic, so it's going to be a little more grittier than the animated shows, but they're going to be making it into a video game, which I think is going to bring the TMNT to the more adult mainstream.
What I like that they did with The Last Ronin. Bless you. Did you sneeze?
Yeah,
I don't know. Sorry, my screen lagged and I just started talking because I didn't know if you were.
You're fine.
One thing that I liked that they did with The Last Ronin was you see this aged up like this is an adult turtle now, has all 4 of their weapons and a neutral colored mask, so you don't know which one it is before you read the comic.
Yeah.
And I think for a little while in the comic, you're not sure who it is.
Yeah, it doesn't really reveal it until almost the end.
And you know, I'm not shocked by the choice. I think if you give 3 out of the 4 ones that are like, okay, that's probably going to be who it is. And so like, if they really wanted, do it spoil The Last Ronin? Did we spoil who it is yet?
I think we've already spoiled it before. Like we've talked about The Last Ronin before.
Okay. I think the best way they could have done to subvert expectations is actually make it Donnie, because to me he's like the least likely to live. If that's at all a kind thing to say about him. But like, you make it Leo, that makes sense. He would have kept fighting. He would have survived. Raph also just wouldn't have gone down. Though those two might have made a sacrifice play before others, but like definitely Leo would have been downtrodden and became more angry if he lost his brothers. Raph definitely was always angry and just probably would have gone on more but like a rampage like the Ronin does. But then you have the subverting expectations of Mikey and Donnie, of them being like the happier, less like more carefree ones. And I think it makes a bigger impact to have it actually be Mikey in the end, because then he's like the more immature one, the one that needs to like to grow up. And then you finally see him in this like super serious, super grown up vibe, and it subverts that expectations. But I think if you wanted to do it more and like, oh, I see why they picked him. Like, if for me, it would have been Donnie, because it was like, oh, he had to like fully go brutal mode and like forego just being the man in the chair a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and like fully like embrace being a Ninja Turtle.
He also arguably has the. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but the most like non-lethal weapon. Like I know that the sword is obviously intentionally lethal, and that's why they gave it to Raph, right? Yeah, Raph.
Leonardo.
Sure, yeah, that one. And well, I thought it was no, it's the leader, right? Leonardo is the leader, and Raph is the angry one, who's got the size, right? Raph is the red one with the size.
Yeah. And we have Donatello.
With
The
the bow
purple one
staff.
has the bow staff. And Mikey has his nunchucks.
Yeah. I mixed up Raph and Leonardo. That's the only. It doesn't matter. But the bow staff is almost exclusively about control. If you whack somebody with that, it'll likely break. You know what I mean? But if you can whack somebody with it, but it's all about control. You're tripping people. You're maneuvering because it has such a long length to it and everything. And so if anybody's gonna be left, it's the person who has the most trouble like killing somebody. Because if you could just like what with a nunchuck and like totally crack some skulls. I don't know, man. I like that it was Mikey, and I like because what you were saying is that it was he was the most immature, really like the youngest one. I don't know actual age, but like he acted the youngest. And definitely it was like a 180 to turn into whatever the Last Ronin was. But the second one is all about the new crew with Casey. What's her name? Casey?
April O'Neil, and then the guy is Casey.
Right. They had a daughter.
Yes.
Also named Casey. I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So she is now like the mom, I guess, that Master Splinter kind of character sensei to the new Turtles. And again, they're all teenagers, so they're all bratty and stupid and rebellious and all that. But they're really cool right now. Like they're a lot more diverse than the original Turtles were, which is what I like about them. Uno's like a light green with white like patches over her eyes. Uno is no, she's not a she. Uno's a guy, I think. Uno's one of the male turtles. I think it's very nondescript. Uno's the leader, male turtle, I think, and light green white patches. Odin is huge, like snapper turtle, like just really bulky, really massive. But he's also like the biggest softy, and he like cries all the time. And is like constantly hungry for food. I mean, for what else? Yi, I believe, is the brooding. I got my hood up, and I'm gonna I'm gonna mess you up. But probably in a higher register because Yi is a female turtle. And then there's and she has like orange stripes on her eyes, which is cool. And then the last one that I totally remember, we literally just discussed all their names 20 seconds ago. Yi, Odin, Uno, and what was the last language?
Maho. Maya.
I think it's
Moja.
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 Moja. That might actually be the orange one that's all brooding and teenager like. But then whatever the other sister is pretty normal looking, I think. But anyway, all that to say, they're all trained in all of the weapons, similar to how Mikey had all of the weapons of all of his brothers in The Last Ronin. These new turtles are all trained in all of the weapons. rather than being specialized in one specific weapon. I don't know. It's been good so far. I haven't read a ton. I'm a couple like sections in to the book, but very exciting. This G-Spot took way longer than I thought it was going to.
The one kind of looks like a big frog instead of a turtle.
Yeah, that's Odin.
Are they all turtles?
Yeah, they're all turtles.
Oh yeah, they do have all all four of the weapons on them.
Yeah, April was kind of doing a science experiment with them to try and replicate the other turtles, and so that's how they came to be.
I do like that Casey is wearing a mask just like her father.
Yeah. She's cool, and I guess she either was like a former cop or like works with the cops. But she's part of like a resistance team. It's cool. It's a really good story. I'm enjoying.
Oh yeah.
I'm just excited for the video game. I'm gonna destroy that video game in a good way.
Yeah, I like when you can find a new angle for a story, and like especially when you have a world that's usually seen as like bright, bubbly, and happy. Like, what if we put it in this dystopian future? Okay. What do you say more?
Are you having a heart attack? Do I need to call an ambulance?
No, I'm having heartburn.
Oh, that's rough. I don't know what brings that on, but I get that often. I'm probably dying. It's okay.
When I eat 2 boxes of mac and cheese, it usually brings it on.
That makes sense. You know what? Surprisingly enough, Oreos give me heartburn. You know, that's like super weird thing to give you heartburn. But if I eat too many Oreos, I'm feeling it.
That is a little strange.
Speaking of, they came out with a new flavor of Oreos. A returning flavor of Oreos.
I think I saw this, and I almost made a new Oreo and Oreo.
Blueberry pie. It's, you know what? It's redacted. I'm not saying anything about it because if Connor's like, hey, do you want to do the new Oreo thing? We could try the new Oreo on air. And then I'm going to feel bad because maybe hypothetically I've tried it before. And then he's going to be all upset at me because I tried it without even consulting him. And so then I'm going to feel bad and probably lie and say that I haven't eaten them yet.
I just don't understand why we have a platform where we can try things and give an opinion, and you don't consider maybe that's something that we should do.
Connor, I'm not admitting that I ate the Oreos. However,
I know you ate the Oreos.
No. I'm not admitting anything.
I can smell them on your breath, man.
You can't smell anything.
Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath. Am I frozen?
No. Sorry. It's got a weird notification on my computer. Listen. So I implore you for, just to try them out. I implore you to get the new Oreos, listeners and Connor alike.
Implore you.
Mia says they're fantastic because she tried them.
Good for her.
Yeah, they smell good. I'll tell you that they smell really good.
Do they taste as good as they smell?
Couldn't tell you. I didn't. I didn't.
I'm not going to try the Oreos. Just tell me what you think about the Oreos.
They're fantastic. They are.
I'm not allowed to eat blueberries.
Why?
She's allergic.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's probably the best Oreo I've ever had in my entire life. I would forsake every other Oreo for these Oreos. I would literally sell my left testicle to have an infinite supply of these Oreos. They're so perfect. I do this little thing with Oreos where I put the Oreo in my mouth, just like dry and all that, and then I pour the milk in my mouth, right? Like and then I'm just like submerging it instead of dipping it and getting my fingers all milky or having like part of the cookie not milk submerged. I just plop it in my mouth, drink a little bit of milk, let it soak into the cookie, and then I eat it, right? It's the best way to do it. And so it's just it's so perfect. They're so good. We're gonna buy, like, I just got paid today. I'm gonna go and buy like 3 packages of them because I can't live without them. Oreo, let us sponsor you, please. No, let you sponsor us, Oreo. I need a sponsor. I just need one.
Were you not hugged enough as a kid?
I was never hugged. What are you talking about? I've never been hugged in my life.
I'm just asking because you seem to be finding validation in Oreo right now.
Yeah. Oreo, please love me. I need somebody to love me.
Do you know what's crazy to think about?
What's crazy to think about?
That the day after this, the day that this goes out is going to be my last day as a 26-year-old.
That's crazy, dude.
That's how far into the year we already are.
Dude, I'm a whole year older than you right now. Isn't that
You
crazy?
are not a whole year older than me.
How old are you?
26.
How old am I?
27.
That's
not a whole year.
That's a
not
number.
A whole year
That's
older.
a different number.
It's not a whole year older.
6 plus 1 is 7. I'm a year older.
You're 17 days older than me.
I'm a year older than you right now.
No way. You're 19 days old.
Year. 1 whole year. 6 plus 1 is 7. Guess what that 1 is? A year. Dude, something I heard pretty soon here, like in 2030 something. Apparently an asteroid is projected to hit the moon. So if our moon shatters and the tides are lost, just know we're not surviving it. We're done. We are done. No, it's probably just going to be a nice little crater in the moon, a new one. And
that's going to put a damper on the new plans for the MCU.
How so?
So Kevin Feige did an interview this week, talked about a few things, but
were they going to be shooting on the moon in 2032 or something?
No, so first of all, they talked about this phase, the multiverse saga.
Yeah, and how just kidding, I loved it.
Well, he did admit, like, we did too much. There was too much because the first saga took 12 years, I think he said.
Yeah,
and they produced a third more within the 6 years.
Yeah,
that this one's taken place. And so they were like, we need to pull back. And if we make TV shows, we have to make them like one of the things about Thunderbolts is that people are talking about is like a lot of the characters in that movie
all come from shows.
Really. And so like if people don't watch the shows, they're not going to really understand them, and like that's why that movie kind of underperformed a little bit.
Right.
And so like they're probably going to make shows that are a little more standalone, and don't have as much like impact on the wider idea of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But like are still important for it. And then he talked about how Secret Wars is going to be the end of this saga, and we're going to become about the new saga. And with that is going to come the mutants and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But it's also going to be a soft reboot of the Marvel universe.
Right. So what I was gathering from that is they don't want it to be like they're scrapping everything that came before. They want it to be more of like just a little reset, right? We're just like kind of recentering ourselves and figuring out like the best way forward. With obviously adding the mutants, obviously adding some other characters, which I'm sure you want to talk about.
Well, two big things that they talked about was like, so Secret Wars is a reality altering event. And so like, it's going to make sense that things are different because of it and like after it. But one of the things that he talked about specifically that's going to happen is they're going to be recasting Iron Man and Captain America.
Which I don't know how I feel about that. So if they're so the problem I see here, right?
Sorry, let me rephrase. Iron Man and Steve Rogers. Tony
Yes,
Stark, Steve Rogers.
right. So the problem I see with that is one, they're kind of like, hey, the multiverse saga is going away. But here now we have to bring back 2 dead characters. So how are we going to do that? Probably some multiversal things here, right? Like they're going to have to pull in variants. Really the only way to do that is multiversal things, right? So
Or you can do it sort of like how Infinite or Crisis of Infinite Earths did, where now everyone's just on one. Like you merge things together, and like it is like a universal reboot. And it's like, okay, this isn't an Earth 2 Tony. This is just the new Tony.
right. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, if I'm being honest. Actually, if I'm being honest, I don't like it. The Marvel universe, really any universe, any long extended universe, right? Is gonna have characters that come in, and there's gonna be characters that go. You know what I mean? Characters that die and stay dead, and characters that live forever somehow inexplicably. I we started with Tony and Cap, right? Those are like the 2 biggest ones at the beginning of the MCU. And they survived all the way through until the end of last phase, right? I think they could stay gone. I think they should stay gone. And I don't know if they should recast them rather than bringing in new characters and focusing on the cool characters that they already have, like Moon Knight and Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel.
That is, yes, but they can also do both. I mean, like
They could, but do they need to? Do we need Captain America and Iron Man? Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. I'm sorry.
I think there are stories that weren't told that could use them, and I think like there are Avengers stories where they're necessary. I'm not saying like big ones like Civil War 2, but like they're pinnacle characters within the Marvel universe, and so like not having them does limit the new stories you're able to tell. And like you can put new characters in there, change how things are done. Like in the comics, Ultron was created by Ant-Man instead of Tony because they hadn't Hank Pym because they haven't introduced Ant-Man yet, and they wanted to have Ultron. But like when you change it to like this character isn't even in this story, and now they are, like it does muddle things. And so like I get you're creating a new world, you're changing the universe, and like what happens in the comics isn't going to happen in the movies just because they are 2 separate universes and things can happen differently, and they shouldn't just be a one-to-one creation of a comic book. But I think when you say Tony Stark's stories are done because the fanboys don't want to see somebody else playing Tony and not RDJ.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that's what you're saying. I'm not putting those words in your mouth. But to say like we shouldn't do that because I can't see somebody else in that role, I think is wrong. And I think we've proved that before. I think just recently we did, because there were a ton of people that are like, Henry Cavill was the best Superman. There can only be this Superman. And I think we've just created a better Superman movie than what Henry Cavill did. And there are people that'll say like Christopher Reeve is unprecedented.
Sorry, Christopher Reeves.
No.
Continue.
There have been recasting for comic books before.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton was the best Batman ever until Christian Bale came along.
Yeah.
And like, you're gonna always have that. And I think there should be generational characters like that.
I do agree with you. Like I know that we're kind of speaking weird weirdly similar but different wavelengths, right?
No,
But I
you're just wrong.
right. Sorry, I don't agree with you. I hate you. So the I think recasting is a good thing in the context of keeping characters that the actors for some reason stepped out or passed away, like Chadwick Boseman. I personally think they should have recast him. I think there should have still been his Black Panther in the universe. I know that they were trying to give Shuri her time and all that. And I don't mind Shuri. I like Shuri. I just don't think that they should have been just done with Chadwick Boseman. Same with Kang, right? They're and maybe Kang was never meant to be this big bad or anything, but like they were kind of hyping him up to be the next big bad. You know what I mean? And now they're just dropping his story because Jonathan Majors is a piece of garbage, right?
I mean, Doomsday was originally titled Kang Dynasty.
Right. So just recast him, right? Like I'm okay with recasting in that aspect, right? They recast Rhodey. They recast Rhodey after the first Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been recasts in this universe and they've worked just fine. And for someone as major as the next big bad, maybe don't just start their storyline and end it halfway through. Maybe I don't know. I just don't think it was a good idea but I just think with Tony and Captain America, I think their stories in this universe, in this specific universe, are complete. I do. I think there are comic stories that could be told with those characters. But there's hundreds of thousands of Marvel characters that could be adapted to the screen. And repeating characters that, yes, people loved, and yes, were so integral to the first part of Marvel, the movies. I just think it's like doing Batman a billion times or Superman a billion times. David Corenswet was fantastic. We talked about how amazing that movie was, and I'm so happy it wasn't another origin story because I hate the same origin story over again and over and over and over again, right? Like we're constantly having new origin stories with the same heroes. I think that there are more heroes that deserve some time on the screen. And maybe I think there's a problem, right? Because if you don't have super mainstream, super popular heroes in the movies, then maybe people won't come to see the movies as much because they don't recognize the heroes. But like Blue Beetle, I think was a pretty big success. Not a lot of people knew who Blue Beetle was. They still went and saw the movie and they still enjoyed it. I think the success of Shang-Chi is another good example. I didn't know who Shang-Chi was before the movie came out, before they announced the movie, and I started researching into who Shang-Chi was. I didn't know who he was. One of the best Marvel movies in existence, in my opinion. I loved that movie. And it did very well. So I don't think you need these super well-known characters, especially with the Marvel Universe already established. And we're already bringing in the X-Men, which is arguably one of the most well-known Marvel groups. I mean, the Avengers is pretty popular. The Fantastic Four is pretty popular. But we're bringing in the Fantastic Four. We're bringing in the X-Men. I don't think we need to bring back Tony and Cap at the same time.
Right, but with the addition of the X-Men in there, aren't you then excited if they do bring back Tony and Cap for them to do Avengers versus X-Men?
But there's other Avengers. That's the thing. There's already the new Avengers we've established.
Yes, but no one cares. That's the thing. And that sucks. But if we do the new Avengers, okay, cool. Kamala Khan is fighting Beast. These are two characters that I don't really know anything about fighting each other. I know Iron Man, I know Captain America. They're cool characters. They should be on the screen. And yeah, we have Sam Wilson as Captain America. There's two in. If Sam Wilson is in current comics, he's Captain America, I believe. I believe Steve Rogers is as well. And so like you can have two characters be called the same thing basically. And I don't know if it's the idea of like recreating the iconic stories with the characters in them, and I think like having those two in there lends to the iconicness of those stories, and like helps make it better. I get your point, but I'm gonna be one of those fanboys right now and just be like, no, I want them. They they belong. They're,
And the thing is, I love Tony and Cap. I honestly, the Iron Man movies, maybe minus the second one, were some of my favorite movies in the MCU. I liked the third one. I know it didn't really get received super well, and that it was kind of a botchery in a lot of ways. But like, I remember being in the theater, laughing my butt off, shocked that he called the kid something that has not been in a Marvel movie since or before. Like I love that it called back or called to his anxiety, and I love like I thought it was a really really interesting, really good movie. Personally, I do not like the Mandarin aspect of it all. Was that 3? That was 3, right?
that was 3, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that part because the Mandarin is one of my favorite Marvel villains, mostly because of that animated TV show, Iron Man Armored Adventures or whatever. The Mandarin was so freaking cool in that with all the Makluan rings and everything. Oh, so cool. I hope that if they're gonna bring Tony back, right? Bring in the real Mandarin, right? Like, can we agree on that at least?
Well, the real Mandarin's dead.
No. Not the scary orange guy that blew up. The real man.
No, he's dead.
What do you mean he's dead?
The real Mandarin was Shang-Chi's dad.
Was he really?
Technically. So the leader of the Ten Rings was his dad.
Right.
And so Guy Pearce's character, whatever he was called, he was the real Mandarin, but also like he wasn't the leader of the Ten Rings. The leader of the Ten Rings was Shang-Chi's dad. And he's like, and can you believe they named me after an orange?
No, right.
That's why he had Trevor Slattery locked up in prison in his compound.
Yep.
Because he was making fun of him, basically. So he had the Ten Rings agents bring him out.
Yeah, I remember that now. Sorry, it has been a while, it has been a while factually that since I watched Shang-Chi. But regardless of all of that, yeah, I do remember the rings in the movie were adapted rather than being finger rings, like they were in the comics and the animated show. They were those little wristband rings.
Bracelets.
Right. So I don't know, man. I thought the Mandarin from the animated show was really cool, and that suit was awesome. But
it can still be true.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they're bringing Tony and Cap back. Why can't they bring back the Mandarin? They can bring back whoever they want. They can bring back Natasha.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want them to, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't. If we just like keep focusing on the same characters, it's gonna get old. It's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse than the influx of subpar media, right? It's like the same thing with all the Batman movies. People are tired of the same character over and over again. It's the same thing with all the Spider-Man movies. People are tired of the same thing over and over again. The Superman movies, like if we have 15 different movies of the same character, people are going to get tired of them eventually.
Right, but you can't have your cake and eat it too then. If you want to see these characters in their fullest of like what you've seen in cartoons and comics, they need to cross over with other people. Like the reason why I loved the new Superman was so much was that he acted just like the Superman in the cartoons I loved as a kid, and so that's what you want to see from your Iron Man. But they had to reboot him to get him back to that sense, and now I want to see him interact in this whole world of characters. Yeah, it's not going to be exactly one to one like it was when I was a kid, because their Mr. Terrific is different, and this is going to be different than that. But is it still going to be cool to see this new Tony Stark interact with Kamala Khan, who can finally meet Carol Danvers, and then Carol Danvers gets her power siphoned by Rogue in this new universe, and like there's all of this stuff going on to where like all of what I want to happen, and maybe this leads to the Inhumans being back and being done right this time. And then from that, we then get Civil War 2 because Miles Morales is in this universe. You could open yourself up to having so many things happen, and like you get to have those new stories, and you can't just say, well, like focus on this character. But if this character has a good story with this other character, you have to be like, well, this character's dead, I can't tell this character's new story, and this one's been around for 30 years instead of 80 years. I don't have as much stories to tell that people love. So you want to use the newer characters, the newer ones that you love and you like and you really want to see. But in fairness, there's not as many stories, so you gotta bring in the old people to have the new people still. I'm not saying I want to see Captain America, Steve Rogers, to come back and fully take over for Sam Wilson. I'm one of the few people that will sit here and defend Brave New World till I'm blue in the face, because I think it did things that were necessary for the future of the MCU, as much as it doesn't make sense for the past of the MCU. But that's fine, because it was based off of a movie that didn't know it was part of the franchise until after it was made from 2008. We can dispel our disbelief a little bit about that, please. But I don't think it's a bad thing that we're bringing them back, and I do think that just opens a new spell of opportunities. And it could be bad. We don't know until it happens.
Fair enough.
I am excited, though, to see the X-Men come in, and I would love to see an Avengers versus X-Men one day, especially in the newer comics, because they live inside the Celestial.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited that we're finally getting these characters that should have been in the universe the entire time. I'm very excited. I love the X-Men so much. Honestly, in my opinion, best Marvel characters in just ever is the X-Men. I love the X-Men so gosh diddly dang much. So yeah, let's hope that is done well.
Yeah.
They're Kevin Feige says they're prioritizing quality over quantity in this next, stretch, because we're kind of in the middle of a phase. I can't really call it the next phase, but like this next stretch of movies. And
Phase 6 is starting with Fantastic Four.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So Ironheart was the last thing from Phase 5.
Okay. Usually when I think phases, I think like, when's the next like big movie, right? And usually that's an Avengers movie that's all, encompassing to the point. But yeah, I guess that's not always true with the phases.
So Phase 4 is the first phase of the multiverse saga. Started with the first movie was Black Widow.
Yeah.
So it looks like it started with WandaVision, because that came out first. Yeah, because Black Widow came out on July 9th. And so we don't really have any big Avengers movies in this phase.
Yeah.
The only movies we have in Phase 4 are Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther Forever. And then the television series are WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Yeah.
And so this was a good, and what I'm hoping that they do with Phase 7 was a good like rebuilding phase.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's when we're still going to see like those new characters, but also maybe our new Tony and new Steve come in maybe towards the end of it. Because we got a whole bunch of new characters in this. And I think that's partly why like people are like, I want to see new things, because we have all these characters that are kind of just floating here.
Yeah.
I
think that's the biggest problem. And he said something along the lines of like, and I get it. I do get it, because my parents kind of had this complaint. You have so much homework, right, to watch before every movie. And that includes all the TV shows, right? Because they're all interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something along the lines of like the TV shows, I guess the homework will be, I mean, for Fantastic Four, there is no homework, is what he said. And that like the TV shows will maybe be like one a year, and they won't be super necessary to watch like these previous shows were.
Right.
I actually, me, because I do watch everything that Marvel puts out, I have a little problem with it. Why would you make shows that aren't connected to the universe? You know what I mean? Why would you continuously make a TV show about Moon Knight but never bring him in to interact with any of the other characters? You know what I mean? I have a tiny problem with it, and I maybe it's just like, maybe they will bring in like other characters and interactions and stuff, but like they won't be like the story itself. Like I feel like Moon Knight, the story wasn't important, you know, to the rest of the MCU as of the story of the season itself, right?
Right.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, those all were very important to watch. Moon Knight was kind of like a thing on its own, where they established lore, they established characters, but the story wasn't necessary to watch for the future of the MCU. So maybe they'll do stuff like that, but like I want to see Moon Knight in the MCU. So if he comes into the MCU and people haven't watched the show, like, are they gonna be just doing characters that are never going to be in the MCU? Because that'll be very disappointing.
No, they could do it to where the TV shows are more spin-offs of the movies themselves, like they did in Phase 5.
Like a continuation of the character story.
Yeah. Like the movies we have in Phase 5 are or the TV shows in Phase 5 were Secret Invasion, Loki, another What If, both What If Season 2s and 3s, Echo, Agatha All Along, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Daredevil Born Again, and Ironheart. And all of those, except for Daredevil Born Again, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and What If, are characters branching off of other movies into their own thing. And so it could be sort of that. I mean, it's hit or miss of whether or not that's good. I think for every Loki and Agatha All Along, you're going to have an Echo and Secret Invasion, where one is bad and one was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I say that as Echo was unnecessary because I didn't really need her story. I think it was a good story, and it's nice to see the representation. But for what it is and what it does, I don't know if I needed it, except for the fact it kind of sets up Daredevil Born Again.
Right. Yeah. It did feel like a very, this is purely to set up Daredevil. But that's kind of the thing I'm saying here, right? The Punisher, John Bernthal, the Punisher, from the Punisher series and the Daredevil series, is now going to be in the new Spider-Man movie, reportedly. Are people like, is it going to be one of those situations where like we're just like, the people who haven't watched those shows are like, oh, it's the Punisher, they're bringing him in finally into the movies? Or is it going to be like should I have watched the shows, right? Like if they're,
but you get that no matter what. I mean, with Charlie Cox's in Spider-Man 3, he no one, if you're not a huge fan, I mean, if you were a huge fan, you were seeing that movie anyways, but like if I'm just a casual viewer, I don't know who that character is. It's just a guy that's kind of like everyone else was kind of happy to see.
Yeah.
But like you're always gonna have that. Before I was a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, um, I didn't know any of those characters, and so like seeing Yondu on the screen and like learning later that he was a original Guardian before this modern lineup wasn't as cool to me. I mean, like I didn't know about the Ishtar. Um, there are things like from the Thor comics, like I didn't know a whole bunch about the Frost Giants and things like that. Like unless you're like a huge fan, a lot of times there's things that you're just not gonna know.
Right.
And like,
but none of those were introduced in TV shows that you either had or didn't have to watch. You know what I mean? Punisher and Daredevil were introduced in TV shows, and I know that this is the state of the union, right, of Marvel Universe, that they're saying moving forward things aren't going to be necessary to watch, right? And right now things are still kind of necessary to watch, even the TV shows and stuff like that, to fully understand, I should say. But I'm just moving forward. Are those TV shows, which, first of all, if we're doing one a year, should be 20 episodes long.
oh, agreed. They should be
that.
full length seasons.
Full length show, not 8 episodes that we're getting once a year, please. But if we're going to be, whether it's a spin-off of the character story that's like a continuation, will that be called back to in the movies, right? Because then the movies, you'd have to watch the show almost to understand the callback. You know what I mean? Will they get upgrades in the TV show that then now you have to explain in the movie, which you didn't have to explain in the TV show? You know what I mean? Like, that's the confusion right now that I'm having with the TV shows are not going to be necessary to watch in order to understand the movies.
I think it could be something like, say they make a Young Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Kaplan Wiccan was introduced in Agatha all along.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna have to, like, they're gonna have to explain who he is at some point, so they're gonna have to do like a small little debrief exposition dump of who he is, and just be like, yeah, I'm a magical kid, or I have a spirit of Wanda's fake son in me, and something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, for as much as the moviegoers know, Wanda's dead. So like there's more, like it just keeps like bringing up more and more. Yes, they're gonna have to watch a lot, but they can also read things online. They can watch YouTube videos to explain it. I don't know. For me, it just feels like a nothing burger of a problem, because like there's always something that can just like, I don't want to watch 7 hours of a TV show. It's like, okay, well, here's a 20-minute YouTube video that explains that.
Yeah.
And so like, I think it's different when you say like trying to introduce Billy Kaplan. Okay, this is a character that we need to know about. He comes in, he's like, I'm from this, or I did this. Okay, we can move on. But then if you try to like just Shamir Sameta's witch from that show, I don't remember her character's name. It might have been Karen, but I think that's just because she was one. If we try to introduce her now, it's like, okay, well, I have no clue who this woman is. Why is she here? And so like you're always going to have that, because you have this shared universe of small characters, like Jimmy Wong being in Ant-Man and the Wasp and then being in WandaVision. Most people probably forgot that character existed, but for us it was just like, oh, I know who that is.
Right, but that's what the TV shows are almost going to have to be about, characters like Jimmy Wong. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, well, I'm totally fine with it. I'm not saying that's bad, but you can't do mainstream characters. I'm talking like the heroes that are like the big heroes in the movies and stuff. You can't do those characters if they're not going to be necessary for the movies. You have to do characters like Jimmy Wong, or the guy who's playing the Atari, or the Galaga in the the first Avengers movie. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do super secondary characters that you could just like.
I don't think it has to be super secondary, because like you have Denai Guerrero's character in Black Panther. Oh, I forget her name. But she's the Dora Milaje. She gets the midnight or the Midnight Daughters or some. She gets that suit in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
There's a perfect example of someone that you can take in and do a TV show. You can have her do whatever she wants off camera, and then when she comes back, just like, oh, wow, you've been on some adventures. I've gotten some new tech as well. Move on. Like, you can take characters and have them do things on screen, and then you don't have to fully introduce them or say like, oh, I've gotten some new if we had gotten Hawkeye as a TV or as a we had the Hawkeye TV show. He shows up in a movie again. He's like, oh, I know someone I can call. He calls up or texts Echo because he's not going to call her. She can't hear. She comes in and she's helping. I don't need to know where her powers come from. I just need to know this is another person coming in. If I want to know that, I can go watch that episode or that TV show. But like, she can go off and do her own thing. Kate Bishop can have her own TV show and then come in and be like, I've been doing some adventuring as a hero, and like just say things like that and been like, oh, because in comics they'll have references to individual issues within like group stories, and then there'll be just like a yellow text box be like, check out issue 138 of Amazing Fantasy.
But I think you're just proving my point further, buddy. Is then they're gonna.
But I don't have to. You don't have to.
I guess
because you're what you're saying now is then they're like, oh, I saw that, I have to go watch that. It's like, no, you can go watch.
You're right. That. Maybe that's just my mindset, right? Maybe that's just who I am. I have to consume everything ever, right? That has to do with Marvel and all their properties and stuff. But like, I don't know, maybe I just want to understand everything, but I'm going to feel bad if I'm sitting there watching a TV show that feels pointless.
I don't think it's going to feel pointless.
Yeah, and time will tell.
In my long-standing rant that I just did, my point is I don't think it's going to feel pointless. I think that they're going to do something that makes it feel relevant, real, and necessary. Because these are people that understand comics, like, and how those work. And I've read just big stories from comics before. And they've never been like, oh, I don't understand this character's motivations right now. Oh, that's why she said that, because of this comic. Okay, so another story happened that I didn't see. I'm all caught up now. Like, even if they want to add in that, like, giant Marvel text that just says, like, when they say, like, Berlin. Like, if they want to put at the bottom, it's like, if you want to get this, you got to watch it. You can go watch Supergirl or whatever.
I know
that's not the same franchise, but like, I don't think it's necessary to have the TV shows connect, and I don't think it's necessary to have to watch them. I'm sure, like, the biggest example I can give, well, probably not the biggest example because not a lot of people watch this movie apparently. Miss Marvel, I think, is explained and brought into the MCU movies very well in the Marvels, even if I hadn't watched the TV show.
That's fair. I guess. Yeah.
I mean, even like Yusuf Khan in Daredevil, it's like, oh, he's hinting at his daughter being a superhero. I don't know anything about his daughter, but that's pretty cool that like this world's that connected, and now I feel it's a little bit bigger because there's a small character and another thing. That's all it is. It's just building connections through small little points.
All right.
I value your opinion, and I think you're right. You feel.
I think we're just gonna have to see. They could do it well or they could do it badly, and I'm just hoping they choose to do it well.
I'm hoping they choose not to do it at all.
Okay. Yeah, just cancel the MCU. We're done.
Yep, it's done. I don't want to watch that anymore.
Wrap it up. Dr. Doom who?
Speaking of wrapping it up, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of The Garlic Boys. If you'd like more from us, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. This is the last one. If you'd like to support us, you can head on over to patreon.com. Support us for either as low as $3 a month or $10 a month. And you can also support us over on our Redbubble by buying designs made by Matt and I based off of things from the show. Lastly, you can head on over to youtube.com/@thegarlicboys to find video versions of this podcast. You get to see all the fun hats that I tried on, including the one that makes me look like a little bunny boy. Right,
Little
Matt,
bunny girl, actually.
I'm a bunny boy. Okay, I know my pronouns. Matt, do you have a supplementary mom report for this week?
Oh boy, do I! Yes, I do. I just finished book number 6 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and and I'm gonna give you no context, but Carl had to jerk off a crab to save the universe. There you go. That's the the mom I'm calling back is the crab, I guess. Raul is his name. But he created a ton of babies that were, yeah, you know what? No context. I'm not giving you context. You have to read the book or listen to it.
I don't want to now.
Yeah, I don't think you should. No, you should. You definitely should. But yeah, Raul.
Wow, that I don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. And I don't want
Listen, I'm not reading smut, but you know, sometimes
it sounds like you're reading smut.
Sometimes the dungeon talks a little too long about Carl's feet, and it makes me uncomfortable, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna shout out Muniba Khan, who is Kamala Khan's mother.
Nice.
And the wife of Yusuf.
You know what? I got an honorable mention because the crab was weird. Casey O'Neill, the Turtles sensei and mother that we talked
about. All right. There we go.
That's much better.
I'm going to take that as your final thought as well, because I don't want you to mention another crustacean.
Okay. So they were in the water.
Thank you so much for listening. And remember, as always, to
stay garlicky. Wait, no, camera. All right, there we go. Do you see my finger coming for you? Look at that. Oh.
You know what else is coming for you?
Your mom. Got it.